day. I am Giselle Bennett from Secondary Education, your moderator for today's virtual debate. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished judges and guests, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the first virtual debate of the Bachelor of Secondary Education from Math and Social Studies major. I would especially like to thank Ms. Baquero and Ms. Camidade for your kind acceptance to be our judges on today's most awaited virtual debate. May you will serve as the most respectful and intellectual judgment for today's topic and stance. I would also like to commend the presence of the contestants, the fellow blockmates, hoping that you all will have the chance to grasp their points and make decisions fairly along with the judges. I am delighted and honored to moderate our first virtual debate on the topic about chalkboard is 100 times better than using manila paper, a topic that is closest to the hearts of almost all of us students who had an experience of learning in a four-walls classroom. The decisions that we'll make today will correspond to a result to which is more advantage and useful to the learners of the 21st century. Once again, I am Ms. Bennett, your moderator for today's College of Education of Virtual Debate event.
Few people realize that the classroom blackboard is one of the most revolutionary educational tools ever invented. Chalkboard, popularly known by the locals as blackboard, is a reusable writing surface on which tags or drawings are made with sticks of calcium sulfate or calcium carbonate, known as chalk. Blackboard is a feature of large board with a smooth dark surface attached to a wall and is used by teachers in schools. Blackboards were originally darker and blacker. As the time goes by, blackboards are modernized and are usually green because the color is considered easier and much more visible in the eyes. From my team's recent conduct of research, in its ancient origins, students in Babylonia and Sumeria inscribed their lessons on clay tablets with a stylus and cuneiform writing. This could be used wet and erased to be used again, or baked to create a permanent document. In India, in the 11th century, teachers used something similar to personal blackboards in their lessons. At the end of the 18th century, students in Europe and America were still using individual slates made of actual slate or pieces of wood coated with paint and grit and framed with wood. Paper and ink were expensive, but slate and wood were plentiful and cheap, making them the economical option. Unfortunately, they were also highly inefficient. Teachers had no way to present a lesson or a problem to the class as a whole. Instead, they had to go to each individual student and write a problem or assignment on each one's slate. In 1801, the rather obvious solution to the problem made its debut. James Pillans, headmaster and geography teacher at the old high school in Edinburgh, Scotland, is credited with inventing the first modern blackboard when he hung a large piece of slate on the classroom wall. In America, the first use of a wall-mounted blackboard occurred at West Point in the classroom of instructor George Barron. Now, why do we prefer chalkboard over the use of manila paper? First, it is accessible, especially in local public schools here in the Philippines. Chalkboards are provided by the Department of Education and aren't adding cost to the students compared on using manila paper.
I respectfully disagree on the last part of your stand, Ms. Asonio. Based on my own experience from the past, chalkboards can still add cost to the learners. There are classrooms that are not provided with chalks for free, that if a student wants to use the board, they should buy for their own use. As you see, not everything in public is entirely for free. And what do you mean by not costing the students with the dust from the erasure of the board and the chalk itself cost the students' health with asthma and other bronchitis diseases?
First of all, your statement did nothing but only made me calculate on how much it costs to actually buy a marker pen in order to write on that brown paper from the capital city of the Philippines. Well, anyway, are we somehow living in 2012, Mr. Eduardo? For everyone's knowledge here, dust-free chalks actually exist. Yes, such object exists. When we think of chalkboards, we imagine the clouds of dust that cover the air when erasing content on the board. Today, with many concerns around health and asthma for young children, more manufacturers are producing dust-free chalk. Big brands such as Crayola has always been strengthening their agenda of manufacturing child-friendly art materials, thus chalks that are non-toxic and dust-free are being produced today. So, aside from it is very accessible and health-friendly, is there anything that chalkboards cannot do?
Yes, there is. Manila paper can be brought anywhere and anytime, while chalkboards are pinned on the walls of the classroom. So, what are we gonna do? Unpin those boards and bring it when the classroom conducts an outside of the classroom activity? Definitely annoying and much work to do. Manila paper is handy, and that's a fact. Oh, every points are interesting. Can we hear some from the audience? Mr. Bon, please do the honor.
Hi, from Bachelor of Secondary major in...
Social Studies.
Oh, thanks Miss Ma'am. So we're near at the end of this debate. How do you feel about the stand of the both teams? And who are you most in favor with?
It is fun to hear their stand. Everyone did so well. But honestly, my pick goes to the affirmative team. I feel like they have defended their stand more rationally than the other team. That's it.
Wow, that was a nice reaction to hear. We get a fan for the affirmative team already. But the negative team shouldn't feel threatened, right? How about you, Miss? From
major in math. I've enjoyed the debate so far, but my pick goes to the negative team because they have passed the economical capabilities of everyone.
I cannot choose between two sides because both teams have presented their topics so well.
I cannot agree less with the statement of Miss Canario.
Back to you, Miss Binet.
Alright, let's continue on the business.
As what you all have heard from my first stand, we are not living in the 2012. Moving chalkboards with small wheels exist on today's generation. So, your point is not taken and is respectfully invalid. Chalkboards are accessible and is anti-poor, it is child-friendly and not toxic to the health of the learners, and one thing, chalkboards promote social interaction between the students and teachers. It adds a kind of nostalgic feeling when you actually touch and feel the texture of the wooden slate green boards hung in front of the class. Nostalgia is priceless and incomparable. No Manila paper can defeat the feeling of having the chance to solve the equation on the board and erasing it when you feel like there's a mistake on what you are solving. However, when you are using a Manila paper, there is no turning back. You cannot erase what you wrote there. It would be such a waste of your precious paper if you're gonna scratch it and make a new report and such. You waste a paper, ink, and your entire time.
Well, at least, papers are convenient to use, handy, and environment friendly. However, I admit it, you got a point, right, Eduardo?
Since it is a friendly debate, yes, I have to honestly admit it. Your point was very rational and organized. Yes, the nostalgic feeling of writing in a chalkboard is very powerful that even your opponent team had to compliment. And how will you defend a large green piece of wood? What a great team!
Now, let's hear the final verdict of the judges. Miss Baquero, Miss Caminade, who are you most in favor with? The affirmative team or the negative team?
In behalf of Ms. Vaquero, I would like to thank the College of Bachelor of Secondary Education for giving us a chance to witness today's event. I would also like to commend the two teams for showing their intellect and for showing a good sportsmanship with each other. It is no doubt that all of us know that this team has surely won the debate because of how great and rational they were during the entire debate. This group is no other than the affirmative team. Congratulations!
Chalkboard is indeed the most convenient, accessible, and the most important object in a classroom. Aside from its uses such as teachers can freely write their lessons during the discussion, and students can draw and solve maths on the board, using chalkboard it adds engagement of the educator and learners more than any other material. Overall, the experience of writing in an actual board is irreplaceable. It is more traditional. No one's gonna argue with me because it still feels different when you write and read the lessons taught by the teacher on the board. And that concludes our virtual debate. Thank you for watching!